was it 2 separate downloads about the mirroring protection and the avatars earlier, like a couple of hours ago. So I'm not in the flow right now. I had to write a lot of this stuff down because those things I had to do. So I'll try to make it as organized as possible where you can understand. Okay, first on, you're going to end up using, the better that you are at like being a kid, like visualizing the protection, the better, because all of it is your intention. And right now, you're going to have to be very, very ingenuitive or creative, because that the ones that are sending negative energy towards you in whichever form, they're being even more creative. And I guess they have nothing else better to do. So they're doing this 24/7. And then they're trying to do it even more while you're asleep because it's a lot easier. So you're going to have to go into your God mode and be very adaptable when you feel a certain change. Shift your visualization, and you're going to have to think outside the box, because that's practically what they're doing. So you're going to have to be adaptable. So when I visualized it, it ended up turning into a silver surfer. Instead of just being an actual flat mirror or a mirror ball, I became the silver surfer. And so I was reflective. And I could travel wherever I want, as fast as I want. But then I noticed there was a shift in the energy today, and I was starting to get a headache and my neck hurt, and I knew what it was. They changed in their visualization. So I got another download, and they're like, well, you need to make a change. Use your imagination. If you were to attack yourself, how would you do it? And then come up with the solution to that attack. So they were like, consider yourself like the water bear. Like, it's hard to destroy a water bear. They could send it out into space, put it into lava. You got to be adaptable like the water bear. And the water bear doesn't do any force, any like trick moves. It just is. So I was looking at it, if I actually thought of myself as a mirror, then a mirror could be broken, I guess, if they thought of it a certain way, instead of like just using a laser, either using hot or cold. And if they did watch they gave me a lot of shows that helped. They gave me The Green Mile, Star Wars and Star Trek. And then they gave me Flash, and then Stargate SG-1, Dune, to give me ideas on how to modify my Silver Surfer. And they're like, you have to make him adaptable, that he or it change, or you change along with the attack, that you could sense the attack, so you're not one form. And they told me to go with, in science, I forgot if it's the 5th state of matter, that they discovered that it's not actually a solid, a gas, solid, gas, a liquid, a plasma, but it's actually all of them, but none. Not one single one, it's all of them. So that's what you're going to have to visualize yourself as. So if they use something that's hot, like a laser, it actually shifts to expand into a more expansive gas form. But this gas is almost like a solid liquid, that it can actually look like a solid to reflect, or even like a liquid still reflects. So if they're using a laser or some type of heat, it actually expands away from the force. But like in Dune, they had a protective shield that if it was a fast attack, like a bullet or whatever, the shield would work. But there was a back door. If it was a slow attack, like a knife, it could actually pierce the shield. So in that form, the gas state would actually work, and the plasma and the liquid form. that it could actually separate and then come back together and or go wrap around whatever's attacking. And let me see what else. Yeah, you just have to visualize the attacks, be very creative, and cause your state to shift, responding to the attack, because they're coming every which way possible, using hot, cold, like a blunt force. I'm pretty sure that's what they did with the mirror one. So you just got to adapt yourself. And then also you got to realize that your vibration is higher than theirs. And they're stuck in the lower vibration, the 3D state, and it's a lot more solid and bulky. And you're going to get to the point, your vibration is going to start making you, for them, you're going to be moving so fast. At first, it's going to be blurry, and it'll be harder for them to track you. And you can visualize this too. And you'll get to the state that that goes along with the flash, the anti-flash. That flash had a hard time catching anti-flash and actually visualizing anti-flash, because you're going to be way faster. And then you're going to get to a state, you're going to vibrate so hard that they can't even see you or even detect you anymore, because you're going to be at a total different level. And they know this. So they don't want you to get to that state. So they're going to do everything to irritate you, keep you preoccupied, keep you in a state of fear so you can be accessible to them. And then also in the green, on the Stargate SG1, I don't know. I forgot why they wanted me to do the nanotech. I'll probably remember why they had me write that down. Also, just like in the Green Mile, I forgot the name of the character, the black guy, the one that could like take diseases or whatever from someone else. But when he took it in, all that negativity, he was actually able to spit it back out in bug form. And that's why I had mentioned Candyman, that you can visualize and have that ability, that they don't just attack you. You can return that attack back to them along with the reflective. So if they give you negative energy, you have it, you know it's in you, and you visualize with your exit breath. You visualize all the negativity, the doubts, everything, whatever you think they're sending to you, and even more, flying out of your mouth as insects or whatever creatures you can think of. Oh, the nano. And Stargate SG1, those nanos, I think they were Archon, that they almost destroyed the universe, that all the species were battling. But you visualize as like the nanos, you don't even have to know who this person is, where they're at, because they attacked you. Their energy signature is tied to this negative energy they give you. You're spitting it out. You visualize these things going after who's attacking you. And with that energy of that attack, it's almost like marking them. And you can see them, visualize them releasing a pheromone, beacons, like everything, that actually doing a shout out to the universe, letting everything in every form, energy, being known and unknown, know what they did. So you're not even attacking, you're just like announcing what they did. So that which needs to find them shall find them, so they can't hide, they can't cloak, and you don't even have to know their name, have a picture, nothing. But that's the negativity. You have every right to do that because they were trying to harm you and yours. And it's not even an attack, it's just giving them back what they had. It's claiming your sovereignty, claiming universal law that they can't do that to you. Let me see. And then also with the Star Wars and Star Trek, they had a technology where the force field And also, like the nanotechnology, with the Archon, the SG-1, it was very adaptable. Every attack they gave it, it learned. You could only attack it once. It learned a defense against your attack. So you gotta be thinking that in the same way, that if they do attack you, your body, your system, and this is what the universe is allowing these attacks, because it has something better for you. These attacks are like Mickey Mouse attacks. And actually, it's making you immune to, because they're going to run out. They're trying every little type of attack. They're going to run out. You're going to be immune to that attack, and they're going to have nothing left. So when you receive like what you're supposed to, a larger platform, more money, you're already going to have a defense against their attack. Right now, it's nothing. You have time to deal with this, and let your system adapt, your thinking adapt, your defenses adapt. So, like in Star Wars, Star Trek, your shield or your defenses, you learn how they're attacking, and then you design something against their attack. And on their ships, the force field that they had, the only way you could attack their ships, if you knew the frequency that their force field was on, then you could attack them. And that's the same thing you see, like when they have, when you have like sound, like I know you've seen the commercials where the sound shatters the wine glass, but the sound had to be at the frequency to break the wine glass. So you just keep realizing that you're shifting your energy, adapting to what they're sending to you. And that's the same thing if you...
I also wanted to add, whatever, like they trigger you or they're allowed to do magic, they're allowed to, so you can learn. That magic is using a back door, a weakness that you have. Somehow, some way, you're matching the frequency of that attack. So this is showing you where you have weaknesses, what you need to work on. So you need to look at that attack. It's a lower frequency. That means something about me matches that lower frequency. So you need to do some introspection. In what way can you uplift that frequency, close that back door? So say like, let me see, you have insecurities about, I guess, the way you look. So they'll send negative thoughts that'll actually access you on the way you look. Even though like nothing could be going on, but you'll just think negatively. And that negativity will like branch out into like everything and cause you to have bad luck. And then you're paranoid about what you wear, or you want to have plastic surgery or whatever. And so that's a back door. That's something you need to work on. You're matching that negative frequency. So this is teaching you how to increase your frequency so they can't access it anymore. And then you're doing the mental state of loving yourself, knowing yourself, being authentic. With that, they can't access it anymore. And then when that negative thought feeling comes up, you know you've already resolved it. So you'll know that's an actual attack, instead of thinking that it is you. So all this is teaching you, building up your defenses. So somehow, some way, you are energetically matching that attack.
Look into Rife technology. Rife Wilhelm, like in 1960, I think it was, he had designed a type of technology to kill organisms by figuring out what frequency they were at, and then sending that same energy frequency to the organism, and it would kill it. It's the same thing. So you have your mind state there so you can adapt. So it's just a lot of visualization, and it's just intention. Let me see what else. Oh, and also with this, they also had me visualize that you see your attacker, whatever space you're in, they have to be in that space. And these people, apparently, they're not going to stop. They're doing it 24/7, every opportunity that they have. So they told me to visualize the fact that the space you're in, they're going to be in. And they're sending you the attacks, the energies are actually very, very toxic, whatever that they're using. And you can sense it's reflecting off of you towards them. It's still in the space that you're in. So just like the jar, you visualize that the toxins, all the stuff that they're sending is in that space, and that person is not even noticing it. It's collecting in that space. And it's basically flooding that area, suffocating it. It's thick. You could see it as solid, like a biogel that they're getting stuck in, and they're getting sealed in the more that they attack you. So they'll get to the point they can't get out of it. And the fact that they use so many different forms of energies, it's like that toxic film or buildup. For them, it's gonna be almost impossible if they can ever break it, because it has so many different forms, and it'll be almost impossible to find a solution. So just visualize that also. And then they wanted me to, I guess, state and have you guys understand, which I had to understand, like, these people, like, sometimes they tell you, some people choose not to do, send it back to the owner, basically by declining the attack, give it to Mother Earth so it'll dissipate. I had to realize that these people are never going to stop. And basically, you're making a choice because you feel bad for them, which, I understand, but they are not going to stop. That you're making a choice between them and you and your family. If you have to protect one, preserve one, you're picking you and your family. Because they're never ever going to stop. And you got to realize you're not the only ones that they're doing this to. And they've been doing it to other people. That's why they're so good at it. And they've been strategically targeting gifted people, people with higher frequencies and energies, energy harvesting, causing chaos, and then causing some people to get depressed, become suicidal, and commit suicide. And they do everything to make sure these people are isolated. They destroy these people's lives. And the longer that they're able to, the more people that they will hurt. So somehow, some way, they have to be stopped. And babying them is not helping them. Because they've been getting away with this for so long. They believe that they're invincible. No one's going to notice. And they're going to conquer everybody. They don't have respect for life. So they have to be stopped. So you're not attacking them. You're just declining or not giving consent for their disrespecting your sovereignty, your platform sovereignty, your content, your family, your friends, your property.
And plus, they're using, I guess, your strengths and weaknesses against you. They're relying on the fact that you're a nice, caring, forgiving person, that you don't want to hurt anybody. They're relying on that fact. So they want you to, I'll just give it to Mother Earth. They're never expecting you to just be like, you know what, mirror, you get it all back. I'm not accepting it. It's not mine, it's yours. They're not expecting that. Because they're relying on the fact that you're nice and kind. You don't want to hurt anybody. You would never, ever do that. Depending on they're relying, I'm telling you, it's a lot of psychology that they're doing. You got to start thinking like them. They are that psychopath, that sociopath. They basically a psychopath. They take pleasure in taking from other beings and destroying them, making them miserable. And in their mind, when they see someone suffer, they don't uplift themselves. Oh, no, they don't do that. It makes them feel good to see someone else suffer in some way. That's how they feel uplifted. That's why many of these mysteriously show up when your life goes to shit. They take pleasure out of it because your life is going to shit. And then the fact they can show up and come up with an answer or act like they care. No. They take pleasure out of your suffering. It gives them an energy boost. And a lot of the times, they are the ones that cause that chaos. Either like doing it in the 3D or doing it energetically, black magic or whatever. They play a lot of mind games. You need to start thinking like them, strategy-wise. So every time they do an attack, you can feel the energy change. You feel different. And even if not, by doing this, you become very secure with yourself and you get very, very good at it. And it'll be like instant. And it'll get to the point that your energy field automatically makes adjustments. It'll be like autopilot. But yeah, they have to stop. And the more everybody knows about them, the more everybody talks about them, the more everybody's aware. That's a perfect defense. Just that is a defense.
And as long and this strength of this, with the more people, because all the people that they've attacked, like I said, it makes a grid around them. And then they're going to get to a point they can't do anything at all. At all. They will be stopped. And then people that have been attacked, they can't be afraid because they're not alone anymore. And the universe is not allowing it. And these people are being noticed. People are talking about them. People are noticing the red flags and the coincidences. And the more that's known about these people, the more that people speak up, the less power these people have. They only have power because we give it to them, because we fear them. We don't believe in ourselves. We're more powerful than them. That's why they're coming at us. We have something that they want, they can't have. And the fact they're stuck in the 3D lower frequency, they can't get out. They want to keep you there with them, or else they won't have access. And you need to realize that. So we just need to stick together, and all of us visualizing, it forms a grid around them. They will be stopped. They won't be able to harm anybody ever again. And the more that everybody knows, just the fact someone knows, that's an automatic defense. Pretty simple. And you're not attacking anybody. You're just claiming your sovereignty for you and yours. And respect and honoring of universal law, and for things to be in balance, for them to not impose their will upon you. Which is disturbing to me. I still don't get it. Let me see. And the next one is on the avatars. And this visualization was kind of funny, but it wasn't funny. It was sad when you really think about it with the avatars. They just showed me someone, and you got to picture it with layers of costumes. Every avatar was a costume. And seeing someone just collecting avatars, just wearing another suit over another suit over another suit over another suit. And imagine if you did this, how bulky and crazy you would look. How uncomfortable that would be. How many masks would you have just to make sure that they're there and ready? And then having these costumes or avatars for many, many years, just stacked, you would get to the point you wouldn't even know who you are. And then these avatars, you have to maintain them. So that's a lot of work, because they do get flawed and they deteriorate. And you keep adding more avatars. And then it gives you, it starts, especially with children, is so messed up. It teaches them, like they're already trying to discover who they are, find themselves. It teaches them that they are not good enough. That's what it teaches them, that they're not good enough. That you need, every label becomes an avatar. Every event you experience in your life becomes an avatar. Every time you suffer becomes a victim avatar at that. So then it puts you in a state of like, you're not good enough, so you need this, that avatar, stacking. And then you get to a state of disillusionment. You don't see what it is. And I believe some people got to the state, they're like, they are not good enough. So they need more avatars, and they see like this big bulkiness as a good thing, when it isn't. It's a burden. And then you just feel like you're not enough. So you just keep on collecting more and more avatars, and then you let them stack on more avatars, more ideologies. And then they showed me another person there that didn't have all this bulkiness, all these avatars, just in the basic, the skin suit, one skin suit. Imagine they're all free, flexible, running around, kicking ass. And then this other person who has these layers of avatars thinks the other person who's just running around free in their flexy skin suit, they look at them as if they're strange, that they're the weird one. But then too deep down inside, they're like, why do they get to run around? All speedy, smiling, having a good time. So deep down inside, they're jealous. So they're like, you know what? Since I can't run, I can't like be fulfilled and run around smart. They can't. So you got to think, they run around putting that other person down, trying to trip them, break their legs, trying to distract them, turn off the lights, just so they can't be free. Since they're all in the bulky suit, they don't want anyone else to be free. And then I saw the one that was free, without all the stacked avatars and the suits, comes up to the one all bulky, and this one legitimately feels for the one that has all the stacked avatars, like approaching, like, isn't that uncomfortable? Can you breathe? But the one that's free actually has concern and feels for the one in the bulky suit and actually wants to help. Give them a different perspective. But the one that has all the avatars, all the bulkiness, all of it stacked, sees it as an attack. Doesn't see it as help or to point out something to help them. They see it as they're being insulted, they're being criticized, being called ugly, that they're being mean, that they're being judgmental. And then the free one running around is just showing off, bragging. That's how they see it. So they become defensive. Then they start learning, because they're so used to stacking on avatars and suits, they start learning the victim suit becomes a way, I guess, to project onto the free person that they're the bad person. So they have the victim suit, and it becomes the woe is me, they were mean to me, even though that person was trying to help them. So in their mind, it becomes a plus to always have a victim suit for every little thing, every little word someone said that didn't agree with, they personally thought of all their suits. And it could be just a word. And they want to destroy the person that's free. And the fact that they're starting this young with children, like, breaks my heart. For the fact that, like, most people don't even actually authentically know themselves till, like, after mid-30s, if they're lucky. But then yet we're dumping this on children. More avatars. Telling them to claim an ideology, a word, a look, a label, a job, an organization, an event. Claiming all those avatars as themselves, when in psychology, they will not even diagnose a child for a disorder because they haven't grown yet. They don't know who they are. They change. But yet we're dumping all these labels starting off on a little child. You know how crazy that is? And then dumping it off also on teenagers, young adults, when they barely even know who they are, what they like, or what they want to go to college for, but yet they're supposed to have this dumped on them early in life. And what ends up happening, now there's another form of fracturing. Before it was just trauma fracturing, different aspects that they rejected. That, like now, as adults, we still have to work on it, doing shadow work, bringing those aspects back. Now they're doing a manufactured version. They don't have to traumatize anyone. They give them an outside artificial version of fracturing. All these labels and avatars. You're this, you're that. And if they don't agree with you, that's crazy. That's almost impossible for someone to heal. That is like permanently fucking someone up for the rest of their life. To always feel they're not good enough deep down inside, stacking on more avatars, not just the inner fracturing, this outside artificial imposed fracturing of extra versions of self, masks, costumes. Picture that. How chaotic is that? How could that be organized and fixed? How could that be explained? When you dump that on them as a child, there is no boundaries of inside, outside aspects, and then outside artificial aspects, avatars, costumes, claiming a victim costume for every little thing. Then causing them to easily be triggered, manipulated, able to have more suits dumped onto them. And all I could see is just people that were like, because of this, starting off as a child are being totally destroyed to the point they won't come back. Because it's just a big mess. So I could see why with this, all this distortion, inside inner fracturing, outside imposed fracturing, how the rampant rate of narcissism, psychosis, inappropriate behaviors, basically just almost like tons of split personalities in a person, just switching suits, mimicking. There's no home, no inner self. There's just a whole bunch of these costumes. So yeah, it makes no sense to me with all the psychology that's around that we're aware of, and then even the spirituality in reference in ways to do your shadow work, bring aspects in that have shattered away, that you've pushed away, denied. And they're just escalating this. When they tell you, like, events, ideas, labels, they are not you. Don't let them define you. That you process this and you let it go. You shed it off. So you discover the self. So you learn all this stuff does not define you, but they're teaching you that now. Teach you to be the victim. Teach you to claim that label. They are taking you away from yourself. So see this? Don't teach this, don't practice this, and don't do this to your children. It's an agenda. It's destroying the self. And they're manufacturing a distorted version of self, which is a whole bunch of fucking costumes, avatars, masks, and then you can see it in people's behavior. They don't know who they are. Then it's rampant narcissism, borderline personality, histrionic, bipolarness, just shattering the self. So yeah, at first it was funny, and as it progressed with the vision, it just got really sad. So those are things to help you and to think about, and to always think outside the box, because they are thinking outside the box, and they are very, very clever. They're using a lot of psychology. That this psychology has been known even before the Egyptians, that they practiced this in Sumerian times. They knew all this, the psychology of people, but now, apparently now we don't know. No, they just don't tell you. And they're using it everywhere, with everything. Like, I can't watch TV, experience like commercials or it's just disgusting to me. And then, I don't know. I guess I should throw this in there. Like me, I probably mentioned it before, like even on the streams, I do not like to use like a lot of the emotes, the sayings, the behaviors that's like routinely done, because it's a form of training you to get used to following everybody else, what everybody else does. And it's shitty. They put it every places where it's supposed to be fun. Just like they train you in school to obey, behave, think a certain way, they're also doing it in the streams. To teach you to not have critical thinking, to follow what everyone else does, basically being a sheeple, even though it's supposed to be for fun. So I try my best. I only do like the streamers, emotes every once in a while here and there, but I don't consistently do, I guess if you wanted to call it slang, I don't do the same words, the same slangs. And I know some people think that I do it to get attention or to be different. No, I just know what it does to the mental state if you don't see it or recognize it. Then that behavior becomes a habit and you get used to it. And you don't see the negative aspect of it. It desensitizes you and gets you into the follow what everybody else does, and don't notice if there's something wrong with it. And then on a happy note, I'll post on Instagram or some pictures. Like I got back into numerology of like the name and your birth date, because my guides were telling me like the angels can actually send, when you see like repeating numbers, angel numbers, that they can send you certain messages with the numbers. And if you'll notice, because I wanted to know who's who, like who is like an earth angel, who is like a messenger. Is there a way to detect who's a warrior, who's there to assist, or can you detect if they're like an opposition, a hindrance? And they told me to focus primarily on the vowels, the E, A, I, O, U. And then I noticed a lot of gifted people, and it's with your birth name. A lot of gifted people, they'll have a lot, the E, A, I, And then just like the angels with the EL, and you'll see the the EAI. And then there's a certain pattern where you use the numerology, and I'll post some pictures too so you guys could have fun with it. You'll notice like certain people in your life, especially people you've dated or had people, your friends or opposition, you'll see the same numbers repeat in the person's names. And the way the numbers repeat, like with the E, like the E will be 5, the A will be 1, the I is 9. And like, no joke, like 90% of the people that I've had issues with, they'll have the AE, which is 1-5 in their first name. 90% of the people, no joke. And you might see this pattern too. And then I'll show a certain way of doing it. And maybe you could mess around with the numbers where you total the vowels and total the consonants in like the first name, the middle name, and the last name, or you don't even total. You'll see the numbers like repeat, and you'll see a pattern in the numbers. Just mess around with the numbers, and the people that you're with, you'll notice a certain pattern for certain events, the way they behaved. And that's how like the angels will speak to you, and they can, and even like throughout the day, or even certain numbers you use all the time. Those are angel numbers too. And they'll even apply to certain people or even yourself. But I have noticed, and it's not definitive, you need to do more numbers. I've noticed like certain people that I know, they do have gifts. I know there are still some negative people, or they're not in their divine state. They're doing negative things and they're gifted. In their first name, I'll actually see the A, the E, and the I. And ones that have a certain pattern of it's 5591. And then with the funky part, my area code is 915. They had me focus on the E and the L at first. And it goes along with Melchizedek also. They had me focus on the E and the L. And I didn't know all this stuff. And with the angels, and they were, where I live, the E and the L is in the name of the place I live at the beginning. And they're like, all of it is a pattern. All of it is synchronicities to get your attention, and they speak to you in numerous ways. But you figure out what it is for you and the way they talk to you. I'll post some pictures, and then the books that I use. There's 4 different books that I use, and each person was a reader. So they had experience with different people, and they saw certain patterns and behaviors and numbers and events. And each one has their own style. So there's 4 different styles I had studied. And you might like one certain style. It's pretty cool. And then another style. But I'll post like Instagram pictures and the names of the books. So you can start out just to see. And I'm pretty sure you'll get like intrigued by it. And then you can purchase the book or get it online or whatever, however you prefer. But yeah, you enjoy it. But yeah, they'll talk to you, and primarily told me to focus on the vowels. So, again, everything is simple but complicated, and thanks for watching. And when I am streaming, like since my $2,000 laptop, custom-made gaming laptop that I had barely ever used just to watch some streams, all of a sudden it crashed for no reason. So, and I need glasses, and I've been using my phone to see stuff, and when I'm gaming, I don't know who comes in the chat, and I apologize, or else I would be responding and start conversations and stuff. And I'll try to notice if you do comment in chat, because I would love the interactions, because a lot of the times, some people don't talk, or some people are really rude where I have to mute them, and I love the conversation and responding and the banter back and forth. So I'll try to catch it if I can, but if I don't, just understand is I need glasses. I'm using my small ass phone, and I don't have a laptop, so I don't get notified of anything. But I will enjoy your visit and your interaction so we could get to know each other better. And so we can have more laughs. It's a lot more entertaining because I respond to the energy of like the people I'm playing with, and to the energy of the people in chat. Like my content adjusts to what the person or the people need at the moment. So like energetically, I'll pick up stuff, and then my guides will give me stuff to talk about. So every stream is basically custom made for the viewer. So that's how the way some of my gifts work. So thank you for viewing, and I'll put some stuff on the numerology later, and I hope you enjoy it. And whatever you discovered, send me a message. I would love to know, because I'm curious too, because I'm also learning as a way of knowing who's who. And just for funsies too, and then learning about the numbers and your name and your birth date, your life path, and stuff like that. That's fun numerology also there in that aspect. Oh yeah, this is my hotel. I haven't finished yet. Yeah, so till the next episode in the next stream, I will catch you.